YouTube. My name, as I said, is Orak Benson Pastore. I'm the lone striker. I'll be the one to battle it in the midfield. Come in defense line, I am the one. And also in the position of goalkeeping, I am the custodian myself. What am I meaning here? I mean, I am the only person today in the studios of West Nile Television to give you what is happening in the world of sports. Today is already 20th of Jan, and the year is 2024. The biggest thing is all about the ongoing January transfer window we have in this particular month. Is your team set? Do you think your team needs some reinforcements? And if real, they need some reinforcements, and in which departments? What of course, Arsenal, Gunners, you. I'm talking about Liverpool, Citizens. You mentioned teams like Manchester City, Spurs. The season like this is actually what everyone wants to know from me, and we will be keeping you updated with what is happening in the world of transfers. The only active team right now is the team of Spurs. The last few days we have been discussing about them, and so far they have already signed 2 players. Dagusin from the team of Genoa, someone from Romania, a defender, and Timo Werner, striker from the team of RB Leipzig, playing in German Bundesliga. And do you know what? It being weekend, we'll also be keeping you updated with the top 5 European leagues. You talk about Spanish Primera Division, Italian Serie A, French League 1, German Bundesliga, people's favorite, I should say Africans' favorite. I am talking about English Premier League is also bouncing back. We are just some few minutes away for the kickoff of the game between Gunners and the team Eagles. Arsenal up against Crystal Palace. What are we expecting in this particular encounter? Will it be the moment for the Gunners, or as Eagles will again disappoint the Gunners, because recently they have not been winning games in English Premier League, and also African Cup of Nations continuing big misery for the team of Pharaohs. I'm talking about Egypt, because they have lost Salah out injured. That means the upcoming 2 games for the team of Egypt, he will be missing them. The remaining 1 game in the group stage, in case they will be in position to seal the qualifications to the round of 16 knockout stages of the ongoing African Cup of Nations. He will also be missing that one because of a muscle injury. And yesterday night, and also yesterday evening, we had so many games in the African Cup of Nations, ongoing African Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast. The team Senegal, the defending champions, continues to perform very well. They humiliated Gambia in the opening game in their group, and also yesterday we saw them beating one of the biggest giants we have in the continent of Africa. I am talking about Cameroon. We saw Sadio Mane sealing win for the Lions. I am talking about the team of Senegal, and today we'll also be having games. The biggest game coming tonight will actually be the game between Desert Foxes as they take on Burkina Faso. I mean Algeria up against Burkina Faso. Are they going to win this one? Because the first game they played, it was a draw up against Angola, and as well we'll also be having other games. I'm still giving the highlights of what we are going to discuss. And at the same time, do you know that this weekend is actual for the semi-finals of the FUFA Dram? Western Nile Province come tomorrow. We'll be having a game with the Lango Province. This game is actually in Lira at Akibwa. They are not at Ababet. They are well-known stadium at home, but they have taken a trip away from West Nile. The game is played on 2 bases. First league encounter, then the reverse fixer will be next week. Western Nile Province up against Lango Province. That's not the only game to be played, and also come this evening we'll be seeing the first league, in fact the first game of the semi-finals in West Nile, not West Nile, rather FUFA Dram, as will be witnessing a game between Teso and the team Busoga. And at the same time, we'll also be finalizing with some of the national regional stories. But as usual, let's kickstart our discussion with what is happening in the world of transfers. We start with deals that are already in the pipeline and deals that have already happened. Still, some people missed the show yesterday. Just a highlight to you, Jordan Henderson has already exited Saudi Professional League, leaving El Tifar to join Ajax Amsterdam. That is the latest information I can give you about Saudi Professional League in relation to the move of Jordan Henderson to that Eredivisie to join a team called Ajax Amsterdam. That's just a highlight, and the biggest is also happening at the park of Spurs. We have seen Spurs already loaning out their winger Ivan Perisic to a team that is playing that is playing in Croatia. The team is actually called Hajduk Split. Hajduk Split, they have completed the signing of Ivan Perisic from the team of Spurs. This is on loan deal. This guy, after joining from the team of Inter Milan, way back in 2022, he signed 2 years with the team of Spurs. And signing 2 years with the team of Spurs, his current contract is due to expire at the end of the season, and he has been undergoing some injuries here and there. And you look at the players the team of Spurs is currently possessing, there are so many, and there is no room for him to be in the first 11 of the team of Spurs. That's why they have decided to loan him out to the team called Hajduk Split. Right now they are the table leaders in their domestic league. I am talking about the team of Hajduk Split, and this team is actually from Croatia, and that is actually where he started his career, youth career. I am still talking about the player called Ivan Perisic. Not only that one, after loaning out Ivan Perisic, they have also started searching a replacement for him. And one player they are talking about is Antonio Nusa. This player is actually from Sweden and is playing for a team that is playing in the Belgium Jupiler League. The team is called Club Brugge. And after letting go Ivan Perisic to Croatia, they want to lure the services of Antonio Nusa. We are waiting to see whether this deal will go through, and according to the report we have got from the camp of Spurs, they said in case the deal will materialize or else go through, they will sign him on permanent basis but loan him at the team of Club Brugge until the end of the season. That is the latest update I can give you as far as the done deals are concerned. At the same time, deals that are already at the pipeline are concerned, and teams like Arsenal, they still continue to talk about so many players. Teams like Newcastle, right now the misery still keeps piling in the midfield department of the team of Newcastle. Joelinton is still out injured. You talk about players like Bruno Guimaraes. They are looking for so many players. They are battling with the teams like West Ham. You talk about Fulham. You mention teams like all the ladies. I'm talking about Juventus, Crystal Palace themselves. They want to lure the services of Calvin Phillips from the team of Manchester City. Ever since Calvin Phillips making that move from the team of Manchester City, not Manchester City rather, from the team of Leeds to Manchester City, he has found it difficult to break into the starting lineup of Pep Guardiola's side. That's why each and every time you always see him warming the bench for the team of Manchester City, and the player himself, Calvin Phillips, feels that it is the right time for him to depart the Citizens. And I'd say so many clubs, the actual battle for his signature, we are waiting to see. And Newcastle seems to be leading the race because they are having the money. They are the money bags. Newcastle Magpies for you, and West Ham Hammers, they are not also leaving themselves out because they know that one of their key midfielders, Muhammad Kudus, is actual for the ongoing African Cup of Nations in the continent of Africa. They really need someone to replace him on a short spell. That's why they are eyeing him, and they're also talking about players like Gallagher, and the player that is currently leading the race for Saturday's edition of Gossip is the player winger. A versatile player, I should say, because you draft him as a winger, he will do the work for you. You draft him as the second striker, he will still do it for you. I'm talking about Emile Smith-Rowe. So many teams also battling about this player, including Aston Villa. Teams have just mentioned Fulham, Newcastle themselves, West Ham. We are waiting to see whether Arsenal will be in position to let this player to join any of the teams that have been so interested in his signature. And in the first turns of the show, we'll be discussing about a lot, and we'll also be talking about one big content. The battle has been between French Ligue 1 and Saudi Professional League. Which league is more competitive? Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the gods we have in football, says for him, he thinks Saudi Professional League right now is more competitive than French Ligue 1. Is it true? Is it true? That's what the viewers will be expecting from me in terms of analysis of the two leagues, French Ligue 1 and the Saudi Professional League. I will be giving some statistics about these two leagues. But before we reach there, and normally I did say of late we kickstart our discussion with what is happening in the world of transfers. A lot of the things have just been given to you are actually the deals that are done, and at the same time deals that are the pipeline about to come out. Now let's take our trend to what is happening in the world of gossip, because this is what the fans of soccer will be expecting a lot from from me. Newcastle have identified Everton midfielder Andre Onana as a perfect replacement for Joelinton, the Brazilian, cause they doubt his future, whether he's going to extend his contract with the Magpies, and at the same time, this player of late is an injury-prone player. I'm talking about Joelinton, and now they feel that they needed a replacement for this guy, and they have identified Everton Belgium midfielder Andre Onana as his replacement, and at the same time, not Andre Onana, rather, I'm talking about Amadou Onana. Andre Onana is the custodian for Manchester United and Cameroon. The player I'm talking about is Amadou Onana, and they also eyeing Calvin Phillips. And I talked about that one. And Arsenal have rebuffed approaches for Emile Smith Rowe 23 with Aston Villa, West Ham and Newcastle all expressing interest in this midfielder. And we are waiting to see whether this deal will yield fruit on table. And at the same time, West Ham are also looking to make 2 loan signings after open talks with Manchester City over a deal for England midfielder Calvin Phillips 28 and approaching Arsenal about Smith Rowe. I talked about this one. And at the same time, still with the Hammers, West Ham technical director Tim Stein is also leading the club's bid to sign Ajax forward Steven Bergwijn 26 this month. And despite manager David Moyes being unconvinced by Netherlands international, so West Ham right now, they are very active in the ongoing general transfer, and we are waiting to see whether this deal will also go through for the Hammers. Meanwhile, Jose Mourinho could quickly return to management after entering in talks with Saudi professional club called Al Sabab days after the Portuguese was sacked by Italian club AS Roma. We are waiting to see whether this deal will go through. In case it goes through, that's when we will be seeing one of the top-ranked managers we have in the whole world in the last 2 to 3 decades going to Saudi Professional League. And at Manchester United, the club has planned to hold talks with Giants over a potential deal for midfielder Lucas Bergvall, 17, who is regarded as one of the European football's brightest prospects, having already been capped by Sweden. And this report has been reported by 90 Minutes. A lot of stories continues to happen in the world of transfers as Bayern Munich will attempt to prize England defender Kieran Trippier, 33, away from Newcastle this month, with Thomas Tuchel keen on a right back. And at the same time, Trippier leaving Newcastle will not be forced into a panic for a last-minute replacement thanks to a plan already in place. And with Manchester United and Arsenal also following the development of Bologna's Dutch striker called Joshua Zirkzee, 22 years of age, and this has been reported by 90 Minutes. And also AC Milan are considering a move for RB Leipzig and Slovenia forward Benjamin Sesko, 20, who has previously been on Arsenal's radar. We are waiting to see whether this deal will also work for any of the club, AC Milan and also Arsenal, and this has been reported by Gazzetta dello Sport. And Arsenal left back Nuno Tavares, 23, is interested in Marseille after growing unhappy at because of lack of playing time under Jose Mourinho, rather. My mind is full of Jose Mourinho. I'm talking about Mikel Arteta. Let's leave that one there and we talk about the competition, the stiff competition between Saudi Professional League and French Ligue 1. And for Cristiano Ronaldo, he thinks right now Saudi Professional League is better than French Ligue 1 in terms of competition. Is it true? That is a false statement coming from Cristiano Ronaldo. I want to analyze this one to you people based on the statistics in these 2 leagues. You talk about French Ligue 1. Ever since Paris Saint-Germain was bought by Qatar Investment Limited, I am talking about Al Khelaifi. This club has been dominating French Ligue 1 in terms of winning the title each and every season. And you talk about Saudi Professional League, people love calling it Saudi Pro League. This league, to me, it has been more competitive. It's true, more competitive compared to French Ligue 1. Why am I saying this one? Yeah, we have so many clubs playing in Saudi Pro League. You talk about giants. Giants are clubs like Al Hilal. You mention teams like Al Nassr. You mention teams like Al Ittihad. You're not forgetting about Al Fateh. And there is one team called Al Ahil. These are the big match guys if you talk about Saudi Professional League. And you come to French Ligue 1. You talk about the big match guys. First of all, you mentioned Paris Saint-Germain that do play their games at Principality, the Parc des Princes. You talk about teams like Olympique de Marseille. You talk about teams like Lyon. You mention teams like Nice. You talk about teams like AS Monaco. These are of course big teams, the giants we have in French League One. Coming to the competition part of it, I did mention a point here. Paris Saint-Germain was bought by Al Khelaifi family way back in 2011. Ever since, by then they were under the stewardship of Carlos Ancelotti, the current head coach of Real Madrid. Ever since, and it has lasted for a decade plus some years. How many clubs have won the French League One title? I remember the club called AS Monaco. Oh, it was in 2017. That was when we saw AS Monaco winning French League One title, and we saw Lille winning it before last season. Now let's do the mathematics. We do the addition. We do the subtraction from 2011 up to 2024. Paris Saint-Germain, how many seasons? More than 10 seasons. And if you do the mathematics right now, it has only been Lille. People love calling it Lille, but me, I love calling it Lille. Lille and AS Roma, they have only won French League One title twice, and it has been Paris Saint-Germain dominating. What does it speak about the volume as the level of competition in French League One? I should say the level of competition has only been 10%. Now crossing over to Saudi Professional League, we mention teams like Al Hilal. You talk about Al Nassr, Al Ittifaq, Al Fateh, and Al Ahly. Not forgetting about Al Ittihad. It has been something so competitive amidst these teams. Matches, it has been mostly dominated by Al Hilal, the team where Dos Santos Nascimento, not his Nascimento, Dos Santos Neymar is playing. This team, the last 13 seasons, the team has been the one dominating. But you will realize that there will come a season Al Ittihad will win, Al Ahly will win. You mention teams like Al Fateh. That is how it has been done in Saudi Professional League. Going to the statistical part of it, last season it was won by Al Ittihad, the club where Karim Benzema is currently playing. They are the defending champions. And before that, the last 5 seasons, the last 3 seasons have been dominated by the team called Al Hilal. Al Hilal won it in 2022. 2021 it was Al Hilal themselves again. 2020 it was Al Hilal, and in 2019 it was Al Nassr where Cristiano Ronaldo is playing. Before that we saw Al Hilal winning it twice, and after that Al Ahly won it, and also before that we saw the team of Al Nassr winning it twice. So that means, comparing Saudi Professional League with French League One, to me, I agree with Cristiano Ronaldo right now, or else in the last 10 years Saudi Professional League has been more competitive compared to French League One. Now when it comes to fellowship and at the same time the dominance by the fans, you will realize that French League One is having more fans compared to Saudi Professional League. That's what I can say as far as the competition in these two leagues are concerned, French League One and Saudi Professional League. This analysis, actually this statement from Cristiano Ronaldo, came after the departure of Jordan Henderson to the team of Ajax Amsterdam. Let's leave that one there, and we come back to the domestic leagues we have in Europe. Actually, the big leagues we have in Europe. Before we come and analyze these games league by league, let me also give my insight about some of the leagues we have in Europe. In German Bundesliga, is there really stiff competition? I don't think. The last time ever Westfalenstadion-based club Borussia Dortmund won German Bundesliga title was way back in 2012. The season was 2011-2012 season. Since then, up to now, it has been the Bavarians, Bayern Munich, dominating. Now you go to Portuguese Primera Division. Normally the talking point has been just between these two teams. Porto and Soccer Lisboa, Benfica, and the teams Sporting Lisbon, and you talk about teams like Sporting Braga. These ones, they have always been escorting the two big teams I've mentioned. Like today, Soccer Lisboa will win. Tomorrow you'll see Porto coming. Next season, Soccer Lisboa wins again. Another season you will see Porto winning it. For Sporting Lisbon and the Sporting Braga, they have been escorting the two big match guys in the Portuguese Primeira Division. Then you come to English Premier League. The competition is there, but not all that very stiff. You look at the last 10 years, it has been Manchester City dominating. Matches teams like Chelsea, you mentioned teams like Liverpool, always coming closer to win it, but mostly it has been Manchester City dominating. But the competition bit of it is there, but not all that very stiff. What about Italian Serie A? In Italian Serie A, unlike in the last 2 to 3 seasons, where we have seen teams like AC Milan, Inter Milan, you mentioned the likes of Napoli, of late performing very well. At least it has been so rotational in the last few years in Italian Serie A. But before that, we saw the old ladies dominating the Bianconeris. I am talking about the team of Juventus. They have been dominating Italian Serie A, Scudetto. But of late, I've seen it's improving in terms of competition. The competition has been very stiff. Right now, you look at the table standing in Italian Serie A, the team Inter Milan is just 2 points ahead of Juventus, and you see teams like Fiorentina following, AC Milan following, and then if Fiorentina coming, the defending champions, I am talking about the team of Napoli, where they are sitting. They sit somewhere down at number 8. And they are the defending champions. This one speaks the level of competition we have in Italian Serie A. Now, let me go back to German Bundesliga. What should be done by the rest of the teams to see that they create that competition in the league? Because it has been one team's league. Bayern, each and every season, they are the ones winning. Before that, we would have seen... We used to see teams like Schalke 04, you mentioned teams like Wolfsburg, you mentioned teams like Bayer Leverkusen, Borussia Dortmund themselves, giving that hard times to Bayern Munich. Then what should be done by these teams? For Schalke 04, they came last season, they have disappeared, they are now playing in the second tier of German football. Now the role has been left into the hands of teams like RB Leipzig. You mentioned teams like Dortmund. For Dortmund, by then, when they won German Bundesliga, they had powerful players. They had a custodian in the names of Roman Weidenfeller. I remember their left back was called Pizek. Their right back was Marcel Smelza. They had a partnership, a very good partnership in defense. It was between Scrotis Papastathopoulos and Matt Hummels. And you come to midfield department, they had so many integral midfielders, the likes of Emir Can. You talk about Emir Can, by then was playing at Bayer Leverkusen. They had players like Nuri Sahin. You talk about players like Subotic. So they had powerful midfielders. You talk about players like Blaszczykowski, the Polish. You mentioned players like Robert Lewandowski, Marcos Ruiz, the only player who is now playing for them since then. You talk about players like Mario Götze. So these players, where are they going to get such caliber of players again to see that they create that competition between themselves and the team of Bayern Munich? So this is one thing the team of Dortmund will have to do. Plus, to me, RB Leipzig, they have just been promoted. They are not all that and all the club in the German Bundesliga, but the few years they have stayed in the league, they have really tried. So that is how the competition bit of it has been going in the leagues we have in Europe. And you talk about that Eredivisie, in most cases it has been dominated by Ajax Amsterdam. It is only last season and this season where we have seen them going down. And we have seen teams like PSV Eindhoven, Feyenoord, FC Twente now coming, Vitesse, or overpowering team called Ajax. And when we are still teenagers, it used to be teams like, I'm talking about Belgium Jupiler League, it was Anderlecht dominating. Now, after Anderlecht, we saw Club Brugge dominating. Now it has gone of late into the hands of a team called Union Saint-Gilloise. The likes of Ostende, Anderlecht, they have disappeared. So this is how the competition has been in European League. And that one brings us to the games to be played today, tomorrow in Spanish Primera Division. In fact, all the big leagues we have in Europe. I want us to start with the other leagues before we come to English Premier League. This time I want us to start with the league called the Italian Serie A. Roma, the first game for Daniele De Rossi, Roma will be sitting at the Estadio di Olimpico. This game is today as they take on Hellas Verona. And AC Milan will have to leave San Siro and travels to Udinese. Then come tomorrow, 4 games on the card. Frosinone entertains Cagliari. Monza travels to Empoli. Salernitana, meanwhile, will have a date with Genoa. And the weekend in Italian Serie A will be finalized by the date between Juventus and the team of Lecce. Highlighting the top of the table, on top is Inter Milan. They have 51 points. Second is Juventus with 49. AC Milan follows, and the top 5 has been completed by Fiorentina, Napoli, nowhere to be seen. AS Roma, nowhere to be seen. Lazio, nowhere to be seen. Atalanta, nowhere to be seen. That one brings us to another league. That is German Bundesliga. Yesterday we are supposed to have 1 game on the card in German Bundesliga between Union Berlin and the team of Mainz, and that game had been postponed because of weather, and games are bouncing back today. Heidenheim is taking on Wolfsburg. Meanwhile, Borussia Dortmund travels to Cologne. Freiburg is having a date with Hoffenheim. Eintracht Frankfurt travels to Darmstadt. Bochum welcomes Stuttgart. And the day shall be finalized by a game between Bayer Leverkusen and RB Leipzig. Meanwhile, come tomorrow, expect Bayern Munich to take on Werder Bremen. Meanwhile, Augsburg will travel away to Borussia Mönchengladbach. Highlighting the table standing, top of the table in German Bundesliga. On top is Bayer Leverkusen. They are performing very well, and they have been followed keenly by the team Bavarians, their neighbors. I am talking about Bayern Munich. Then RB Leipzig is in the mix. Teams like Stuttgart, Borussia Dortmund, and it follows up to the relegation zone. Now this one takes us to another league. The league we are going next is French League 1, where today we are having 2 games on the card. Nice is taking on Metz. AS Monaco travels to Olympique de Marseille. And then come tomorrow, Lille will take on Montpellier. Lille travels away. Strasbourg travels to Clermont. Lorient will lock horns with Hervé. Nantes is versing Reims. Toulouse welcomes Lens. And Paris Saint-Germain will take on Brest. And this game will be tomorrow. And the kickoff time is actually 10:45. That means a quarter to the hour of 11 is when you will see Paris Saint-Germain battle it out with Lens. What about in Spanish Primera Division? Before I give you the games to be played in Spanish Primera Division today and tomorrow, by the way, the team Girona still continues to perform very well, but one misery they have right now, I should say, ahead of weekend's class, is one of their key midfielders. I'm talking about Garcia. Garcia up against Aymeria had a red card. That means he's going to miss the game this weekend. And right now they are the team maintaining a lot, but they have played 1 game more than the second place team Real Madrid, because over the weekend Real Madrid was playing the finals of Spanish Super Cup up against Barcelona, where we saw them thumping Barcelona by 4-1. That means they're having 1 game at hand. So this one takes us straight to the games to be played today, tomorrow, and on Monday in Spanish Primera Division. Rayo Vallecano will have a game with Las Palmas. Meanwhile, Villarreal at Mestalla will take on Real Mallorca. Athletic Bilbao travels to Valencia. Celta Vigo will finalize today's game with a game up against Real Sociedad. Then come tomorrow, Osasuna welcomes Getafe. Aymeria, that had a draw with Girona over the weekend, will travel to Real Madrid. Barcelona will have to leave Camp Nou and will take a trip away to Real Betis of William Carvalho. Girona will take on Sevilla, that is off form. And tomorrow 1 game to be played, as we have a date between Atletico Madrid and Granada. This game won't be at Vanda Metropolitan, but Atletico Madrid will take a trip away to Granada. Do you know that Barcelona, they are not doing well? I don't know if you are aware. Even teams like Athletic Bilbao right now, they sit ahead of Barcelona, but on top is Girona, followed by Real Madrid. We have got Athletic Bilbao, and top 4 is completed by Barcelona. Atletico Madrid is at number 5. And down in the relegation zone, teams like Almeria, you talk about Las Palmas, they are the ones battling it out in the relegation zone. And people expecting me to talk about English Premier League. Right now, we are 29 minutes to the top of the hour of 3. That means we are yet going for a break, and I will be back. We'll be coming to analyze about the